Hi everyone, it's Mitch. It's New Year's Day 2009. Happy New Year. Um, five college bowl games today. We're only going to talk about four of them though. We're going to split it up into two videos. Going to do two in the early one, and then we're going to do a video later on with the two late games. We'll have plenty of time to do it. Um, just want to say it was a great 2008. Not going to reflect on it too much. I'll probably just do a 10 top 10 list, on 2008, the college football season. And of course, we'll talk about this place plenty in it. And I think 2009 is really going to be just so much of a better year. We sure went out in 2008, in a big way. We only went 3-2 on the day, but we called that LSU. We loved them. We said that it was going to be a stomping, and that's exactly what we saw. A lot of people, a lot of negative comments. In other places where my articles are posted on the internet, on YouTube. I know some guys in the chat room didn't even agree with me, and I know Jordan. I think I might have turned him. I haven't. I haven't talked to him today, so I don't know. But in any event, we got two games this morning. That I'm going to talk about. If you guys want my write up of the Gator Bowl, that you can find on the blog. I'm not going to talk about that in either video today, though. What we are going to talk about first is the Outback Bowl, and it's going to be the first football game in 2009. South Carolina facing off against Iowa in this one. I was laying 4 points. Seen it 3.5, seen it 4. This should be a pretty good game. The Big Ten teams have been played very nicely in the bowl games. Yeah, Minnesota didn't do too well against Kansas. They hung in there. They scored some points, but we knew that Minnesota really wasn't quite as athletic as Kansas was, and we had no problem with this one. I think that this one, though, I think that you have two great defenses here. I think you have a team with just a little bit better offense. This game might be similar to that Boston College game that we saw yesterday, which was just a lot of hard hitting and a lot of movement between the 20s. And I think we see a lot of the same thing. Who doesn't make the mistakes? Who's able to convert on the other team's mistakes? I think Iowa has just a little bit better of an offense here, and I think they get it done. They have the best player on the field, and just for that alone, we'll give them the take here. We're not strong on Iowa as a lot of other people are. We like them though, and we're gonna take them. So I'm on Iowa in the first one. The next one we're going to talk about is the Capital One Bowl. Georgia Bulldogs taking on the Michigan State Spartans. This game's at 7.5. Georgia is laying 7.5 in this one. When the line first came out on this one, I thought it was going to be higher. It teetered 8.5, 9.5 even. It's been that high. I don't understand why it's not that high. Well, maybe it's that. People have saw a lot of those Javon Ringer highlights on some of those highlight shows. Like you guys know, I don't watch too many of those highlight shows. I see some of it, during the week. Maybe their nighttime broadcasts of Sports Center, but I don't generally watch during game day or game day previews or any of that stuff. So I know that Javon Ringer had some nice games. I'm sure he was featured a lot. I know he was featured just in the weekday highlight shows. So maybe that's why people are on Michigan State, because Michigan State has no play from the quarterback position. I'm not talking about weak play. I'm not talking about inconsistent play. I'm talking about no play. I mean, like just no contribution to any kind of success. We saw them have a little bit of success against Michigan, where they had to come back against not very good Michigan team. Michigan State is loaded at wide receivers. They have a long tradition of great wide receivers. The same style of wide receivers always too. It's always like these tall 6'5", 6'6", big physical receivers. Plaxico Burress went to Michigan State. Charles Rogers was great at Michigan State. They always have these guys. They rarely have a quarterback who knows how to use them and can manage the game. The quarterback always seems to run for his life and makes a horrible decision, is what I always see with Michigan State quarterbacks. Talk about quarterbacks that have trouble making decisions. Matthew Stafford, I've talked about this over and over again this season. When the team gets momentum, when they get a drive going, when they get into the red zone, Matthew Stafford calls a timeout. He's a momentum killer. Be interesting to see if he calls that timeout today, or if he just gives the ball to Noshan Moreno, which I would be doing 25 times a day if I was the Georgia Bulldogs. Maybe they finally catch on today and do that and get themselves a nice cover. They have some great wide receivers. They have AJ Green, Muhammad Massaquoi. They have a decent defense. They entered this season as the number one ranked team in the country. The thing is, when they lose badly. They were blown out by Florida, blown out by Alabama, beaten in really. The scoreboard didn't show it against Georgia Tech, but that's not a game that they should have lost. They certainly had more talent than Georgia Tech. They were just confused. They were thoroughly outcoached in that game. I know Mark D'Antonio is a great coach, but he's more of a physical type coach. I think Mark Richt gets it done with his Georgia Bulldogs today. I think that Noshan Moreno has a very big day, and I look for Georgia to win this fairly easily. So this is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. We got two really nice games in the afternoon with the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl, two BCS games. So we'll see you then, and have a great day. I'll see you guys in the chat, and I'll see you in the forum.